Hey y'all, welcome back to another reading. This is my first combination Lenormand and Tarot reading, and today I want to take a look at Eugenia Cooney's Saturn Return. If you're not aware of who Eugenia Cooney is, she is a YouTuber who has stirred up quite a bit of controversy, and she's aware that she's controversial, but I think that you can take a look at the content that she puts out and you can understand why she is controversial. There's something about her that, I don't know, I feel a tremendous amount of compassion for. This reading is designed to help her get through her Saturn return. She is 26 years old right now, but her Saturn return is coming up. I believe in like 2-ish, 3-ish years. I did a little bit of research. Her Saturn is in Pisces, which is about, that's a watery sign, right? So that sign, according to what I read, now I'm a beginner in astrology, but according to what I read, that's going to have a lot to do with boundaries. Like specifically, this Saturn return is going to be this is going to be boundary boot camp, if you will. Saturn is the cosmic drill sergeant. Like you might see him described, you might just see Saturn described as the cosmic taskmaster. I think the cosmic drill sergeant, makes better sense in the contemporary idea. But Eugenia Cooney has some interesting stuff as far as her Saturn return is concerned. I want to do her Lenormand reading first on what she is going to specifically face with her Saturn return, and then I'm going to do a tarot reading on specifically what she can do to have the best Saturn return possible. Okay, so let's do a Lenormand reading first. These are from smartashholder.com. We're going to pick out 7. We're going to do a 7-disc spread here. I think I've picked up 7. We'll see. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. What has she got that she needs to worry about as far as her Saturn return? What is her Saturn return specifically going to look like? I see anchor as the central theme, and so the anchor appears on the house of the house, which is about security, and in her case it's going to be about family. I'm not the first one to notice that her family may not be the most helpful group for Eugenia Cooney. And again, I will put this down in the description, but I'm going to say it right here. All of these readings are for my learning purposes. They are for entertainment purposes only. It's not a replacement for a good therapist. It is not a replacement for good professional advice. This is really just for entertainment purposes. This is very permanent. This is something that is long-term, that's going to be very difficult to move around. Just based on the central theme, without reading the rest, I don't know that she's going to have an easy time with this. I don't know that she's going to have an easy time with her Saturn return. On either side, I see the Tower and the Scythe. She's going to have a reckoning with some kind of institution. I see isolation. You know what? Not an institution, Isolation. She's going to have a reckoning with her isolation. She doesn't seem like someone who gets out very much. I've heard, I've seen that she doesn't drive. This may be her reckoning with this. There may be even an end, a really sudden end to her isolation. That would make perfect sense for a Saturn return. Suddenly, the status quo that was okay for the first 28 years of your life may not be working out anymore. It may be difficult for her to break out. It may be very difficult for her to break out, but it is possible that she will have a sudden end to her isolation. That's what's going on around the central theme. I want to take a look at what's going on over here. The fox isn't great to have. In this case, it is about, excuse me. In this case, it could be about self-care, about selfishness, about having to watch out for yourself first. As far as wishes, hopes, and dreams, she wants to get out. She wants out of isolation. Wishes, hopes, and dreams to get out of isolation, to take care of herself. I'm going to come back to this. There's something I may not be seeing there. Let's switch on over to this one with the Tower as the central theme. That's going to be isolation. This is a long-term. She's been really having to struggle with selfishness in this permanent long-term state, or something has been struggling with selfishness in this long-term state. I'm definitely getting some fog around this, which tells me that there are some secrets underneath that maybe aren't mine to reveal, is what I mean. When I come to these, let's say the anchor, the scythe, and the ring, this is a cycle, a commitment, a really long-term cycle commitment, if you will, and that's coming to an end. Something about this is coming to an end, I see. And what's interesting is that a man appears in this particular reading. What's popping up into my head right now is with Dad. Now, again, that would make perfect sense with the Saturn return. I had a sensation before I went into this reading that this would be a reckoning with Eugenia's dad. This isn't an individual that she talks about much in any of her videos, though he does occasionally make appearances. But I see a reckoning with Dad, a reckoning with this commitment, with this cycle with Dad, possibly an end. I'm coming back to this one. The Tower, the anchor, and the fox. When I allowed my intuition to come through, I see I said selfishness, I think, earlier, right? I'll look back at when I'm editing and see if I said selfishness. But Eugenia Cooney has been able to exist in a state where maybe she doesn't always have to take full responsibility for what's going on, allegedly for entertainment purposes only, right? When you take a look at the controversies that surround her, I see this being a long-term thing that has existed in isolation, and this isn't going, she's going to have a reckoning with this. This may come to an end, this isolation. It's possible that the fox could propel her out, right? Still not a great coping mechanism, but hey, if the coping mechanism gets us out of our situation, then great, we can change later, right? She has a difficult Saturn return coming up, I see. She has a difficult Saturn return coming up. Wishes, hopes, and dreams that her dad will maybe change. But Dad sits on the house of the snake. That's deception. That's two-facedness. She's going to have a reckoning with that. When we come back to these three together, she's going to have a reckoning with this. With the ring and the fox together. Again, this is a long-term cycle of selfishness, if you will, with putting one's needs above, or, putting needs that aren't great, desiring things that aren't great for you is what I'm trying to say. Again, here I come with the tongue-tied. There's something here that I'm not supposed to be touching on. Maybe in a later reading, someone else, or maybe I can figure out what's going on here. But definitely I'm getting cloudy tongue-tiedness, and that's something. And ring does appear on the house of the clouds, which is about confusion. Something is blocking release of information with this particular reading. In any case, I see a lot of difficult stuff coming up. This is going to be some hard work that she's going to have to do in order to get out of isolation. But let's take a look at what she can do to have the best possible Saturn return. I am going to stop it here. I'm going to get my camera set up and I'll be right back. So folks, this next part is a tarot spread, or specifically a Celtic cross spread, on what Eugenia needs to do in order to have the best possible Saturn return. Please also welcome the butt of my cat and her tail too. This is Tifa. Let us do a bit of shuffling, and I will stop shuffling when my spirit asks me, or when my guiding spirit, I should say, asks me to stop. Actually never done a Celtic cross with the Wildwood deck before. Usually it is super effective within, let's say, 6 cards or so. It doesn't mince words. It has a reputation for not mincing words. Something else is that it does not need reversals. Its messages are often plain and blunt enough that it doesn't need reversals. Okay. Spirit, should we keep these in the cross? Of course. Let me try to line these up. So what does she need to have? What does she need to do, I should say, in order to have the best possible Saturn return? I don't think it gets more plain than that. Rebirth. Rebirth. She needs to. 8 of Cups is about walking away. And I think that we saw that in the Lenormand reading, that she's going to have a reckoning at the very least, if not end her isolation. She's going to need to walk away. And with the Ace of Vessels, what could help her is the Ace of Cups, a new beginning, a new emotional beginning. If she wants to have the best Saturn return possible, she needs to walk away and she needs to give herself a new beginning. And honestly, the Wildwood deck is plain enough that that's pretty much all that she needs to see. But I want to learn more about the Celtic cross, how to work with it. So I'm going to keep, let me see, should I keep shuffling Spirit? I'm getting a strong no. So I'm not going to keep shuffling, and we're going to keep laying out the cards. So I do something a little bit different than a lot of folks do when it comes to Celtic crosses. I learned how to do the Celtic cross from biddytarot.com. Excuse me, let me do it like this. And I hope that you folks can see this. I will move stuff around. Yeah. Cool. Move it closer to Kitty's butt. So let's deal with her past, her present, as far as her Saturn return goes, and her future. So we may say that this is where she is right now, right? Or where she has been in the past. She has been given the foundations for giving herself a new place, or it may be that in the lead up to her Saturn return, if she wants to have her ideal Saturn return, someone, it feels like, or something would give her that foundation for, you know what, I've had enough. It's time for something else. Possibly. Okay, I am still a beginner when it comes to reading tarot, when it comes to reading Celtic crosses, and when it comes to reading the Wildwood. When it comes to the Great Bear, you can see that that's number 20. That's to do with judgment. During her Saturn return, and again, this makes sense for a Saturn return, she's going to be in a place where she's going to need to learn from tradition, if you will. She's going to need to go into, well, there goes the spread. She's going to need to go into a kind of hibernation, if you will. And she's going to need to learn how to be this better person. If she's going to need to learn how to evolve in hibernation if she's going to have a good Saturn return. Okay, so that's in her future, and that's if she makes it happen. Excuse me, sweetie. Excuse me, darling. Yeah, bitey. My kitty cat is hungry, so that may be part of it. Yeah. Excuse me, honey. She gets fed in a few minutes, but not right away. She's upset that she's not being fed right away. So cool. When I take a look at the Archer, this is what is moving the situation subconsciously. The Archer is about moving quickly to catch your prey. This is the card that's associated traditionally with the Chariot, with 7. And this is moving quickly throughout your obstacles. You've got your hunting hounds, if you will, and you've got a sharp eye. But the hunt is not easy, right? Sometimes you catch your prey and sometimes you don't. And it's hard work, like in agrarian and old agriculture, hunter-gatherer societies. Hunting was hard work, and the hunters who got a lot of prey were looked up to, right? So this particular situation speaks to me that subconsciously this is going to be a long-term, like even fast-moving kind of situation, that she is going to be on a journey. She is going to be on a kind of journey that moves her along quickly And she's going to have to be super focused in order to really move this situation along, in order to have the best possible results from the reality, which is her Eight of Cups, right? If she wants to walk away and stay having walked away, she is going to need to use the spirit of the archer and move quickly in pursuit of what she wants. Okay, that is what, according to my learning of the Celtic cross, is moving. What could move the situation if she wanted to have the best possible Saturn return. So subconscious, reality, and then what she wants. Four of Bows is the Four of Wands. This is what I named my channel after. This is celebration. And she's going to be so happy if she does walk away of her own volition, autonomously. She's going to be so happy. This is going to be a huge celebration. And she's going to have it with people. She's going to have it with a whole bunch of people who are going to celebrate with her. I see wonderful things happening out of this. If she walks away, if she allows the spirit of the archer to come through. This is her cross. Let's take a look at her rod. And again, I do things a little bit differently. Oof, okay. And as you can imagine, this is, I'm going to put, I hope you guys can see this. So sorry. Let me mash this down a little bit. So what we have going on here was that the wheel popped up for me. That is karma. That is the Wheel of Fortune in the traditional tarot deck. And in the Wildwood deck, it's about you weaving your own fate. Now, you have the ability to weave your own fate. Now, keep in mind that every single thread that you throw through that loom is karmic. You are either bringing karma back into balance or you are throwing it back out of balance, right? And if you throw karma out of balance, rest assured the universe will throw it back into balance for you. So this is, in her future, the final card. This is going to be the top of the rod. The final card is that she needs to be very cautious of the karmic threads. She needs to be cautious of what she does during her Saturn return. And if she sews her garment, if she weaves her garment, her karmic garment well, then it will be wonderfully, vastly rewarded. So that is what's going on in her future, right? Now, what does she need to do in order to bring that future about, right? Judgment, rising to the call, rising to evolving, if you will. Choosing to evolve, hibernating to evolve, to hatch, if you will. What does she need to do to bring this future about? Her advice is to be generous. The Nine of Cups traditionally is about being blessed, being comfortable with what you have, like kind of resting on your laurels, so to speak. You've earned this. You're at the top. Now take a break. This has a little bit of a different energy in the Wildwood deck. This is about, I have been given so much. Let me give back to the people who don't have much. With this particular card, let me pull it out and bring it close to the camera. This particular sage has cup energy flowing into him, but then he's also giving it back out to others. So he's not just keeping it to himself, he's a conduit. Her advice to have the best possible Saturn return is to be generous to others, possibly speak to others about her own experiences. No, she's been through a lot. If you take a look at who she is, who she presents herself to be, there's no way this person hasn't been through a lot. I just don't believe it. I just don't. Four of Stones. Now, traditionally, this is about protection, keeping yourself safe, right? Like holding what's valuable to you close to your chest. In this case, this is about protecting something that is still very delicate. Look at this tiny fawn under these massive rocks, these dolmens, if you will. Her external circumstances is what's going on here. These are her external circumstances. In spite of the fact that this could be a really powerful moment for her, this Saturn return could be a super powerful moment for her, she is going to have to reparent herself. She is going to have to be sensitive and kind to herself. She is going to need some of the best therapists she can find in order to help her through this period, is what I'm seeing. I see therapists really helping her keep her inner child safe. I think that's part of what's going to be so successful, is if she can heal her inner child, she's going to be in a much better shape. You know what? Healing the inner child might happen here, to be honest with you. Let's take a look at the Eight of Arrows, and these are her hopes and her fears. Moving away from her situation, moving out of isolation, what we saw in the Lenormand reading, this is going to be difficult for her. Eight of Arrows, no, I was thinking of Eight of Wands, sorry. Eight of Swords, this is going to be hard work for her. Yeah, this is going to be hard work. This is where the therapist is going to come in handy. I really do see her success coming about as a result of her getting assistance, right? Not doing this alone. She should not do this alone. She really shouldn't. It's best when you've been isolated to get a network of people who want to see the absolute best for you. She does not have to struggle alone. It's okay to be afraid of struggle, but she doesn't have to struggle alone, is the thing. And I see that she doesn't have to struggle alone. She still has people in her life. Maybe she's pushed them away, but she still has people in her life who would do a lot, who would do anything to see her in a good and healthy place. And I've talked about the wheel considerably, y'all. She can do a lot to give herself her very best Saturn return. It won't be easy. I'm seeing quite a few major arcana cards pop up, which tells me that this is going to be a massive karmic event, which makes sense. Again, the Saturn return, there's only 3 of them in your lifetime too, if you don't live for that long. But folks, that is a tarot and Lenormand reading for Eugenia Cooney's upcoming Saturn return in 2 or 3 years. I, honest to God, wish Eugenia the very best of luck with her upcoming Saturn return and with life in general. And Kitty Cat is indicating that yes, definitely the Wheel of Fortune and people are going to be ultra important for this particular Saturn return. Eugenia Cooney, I wish you the best of luck. And if you went all the way to the end of this particular video, this is my longest video so far. Thank you so much. Please subscribe if you're interested in following me on my journey with learning how to make good videos and learning how to read tarot and Lenormand cards. I hope you have a wonderful day.